Part 2. I stood at the edge of the pack territory, my heart beating quickly. Rowan looked around curiously. Are we going inside, Mom? He asked, pointing towards the direction of the pack estate. I shook my head. No, pup, we're going to meet a friend of mine. There was no way I was staying in the pack house. In fact, I didn't even want anyone to know I was back. I held Rowan's hands firmly as I led him away from the pack estate and towards the other edge of the pack territory. Elma, the pack healer, lives away from the pack in her beautiful wood cabinet, tucked away between the trees. It didn't take long for Rowan and I to get to her cabin. The huge wooden house glowed almost magically under the rays of the morning sun. Wow, Rowan gasped in wonder. I paused, taking a breath. Would Elma even be willing to meet me? Before I could finish my thought, the door flew open. A familiar person. Those green eyes and the long gray hair could only be one person. Elma. She stood frozen as she looked at me. Mira. My heart clenched when she looked so unsure. But in the next second, she hurried up to me and gave me a big hug. Oh, darling, I thought you'd never come back, she said emotionally. I hugged her back lightly. Elma, I'm so sorry I didn't tell you I was leaving. I apologize. She must have been so sad about me leaving so hurriedly, but she didn't mention anything. Her eyes moved to Rowan, who had his eyes on her. She turned back to me in shock. He's yours. I gripped her hand. Can we go inside, please? She looked at Rowan and nodded. Once inside, I set Rowan down on one of the stools. He tugged on my sleeve. Mom, I feel a bit tired, he whispered. Elma watched us from behind. She came closer and ruffled Rowan's head. I'll go make the bed. Mira, bring the kid inside. I held Rowan's hands and we followed Elma to a rook in her cabin that used to be just for me. It was clean and neat, almost like I'd never left. After we put Rowan to sleep, we left the room. Elma looked at me hesitantly. This boy, she began, her voice barely above a whisper. I already knew what she was going to say. Yes, he's Kade's. Elma went quiet, her gaze softening as she reached out to hold my hand. You've been through a lot. I could tell she understood. Leaving the pack pregnant wasn't an easy feat, and raising my son wasn't either. This was why I made my decision. I need help to mask his scent, I said, looking straight at Elma. I know you can help me. Please, Kade can't know about my pup. Her expression was troubled. But, please, I cut in, looking at her with pleading eyes. Elma was unable to reject me. She sighed. Okay. She immediately set to making the potion. I assisted her, reducing any possible delay. I didn't want me and my son to get in between Kade and his Luna, so he'll never find out. By the time we were done, it was the next morning. Rowan was already awake, and I handed him warm water with the potion mixed in. He drank it. Soon, the familiar scent he'd inherited from Kade changed to something that scented more like me. I sighed, relieved. I felt exhausted from working all night, but it was worth it. I kissed his cheeks and asked him to take a bath while I went over to meet Elma in her living room. Elma, can you help me with Mira? My words got stuck in my mouth as I heard the familiar voice. I looked up to see the man standing beside Elma. Dark, messy brown hair, bright golden eyes and tan skin. Kade. It felt like I could hardly breathe. His expression was surprised, his brows raised. When did you? Before he could finish, his voice was cut off by the sound of Rowan running into the living room. Mama, I can't find the towel for my hair. Kade's eyes turned to Rowan, and I could see his eyes widen then narrow when he noticed the strange scent. I hid Rowan behind me. Kade's eyes flicked between me and Rowan. Mira, who is he? When did you return, Mira? Kade's voice cut through the silence. You choose to leave and now you show up with a child? Who is he, Mira? I held Rowan behind me, facing Kade's piercing gaze. It's none of your business. It is my business, he growled. This is my pack, and I'm the alpha. Elma tried to cut in. Calm down. She needed my help, and Kade stopped her. Don't speak for her, Elma. She has a mouth, doesn't she? I took a breath, overwhelmed by anger. This damn bastard. Well, if he wanted to hear the truth. Well, if you're so obsessed with the reason I came back to a pack that I belong to, my son needed help and I missed Elma. Are you satisfied? Kade's eyes darkened at my words. Your son? Yes, my son, I said firmly, meeting his gaze without looking away. Rowan peeked out from behind me, clutching the hem of my skirt. His wide amber eyes locked on Kade, and I could see Kade freeze. His jaw tightened, fists clenching beside him. I tensed and turned to Rowan. Go ahead, darling. The towel is beside the bag. Rowan hesitated, but I pushed him forward slightly. He turned and ran up the stairs. Kade watched us, a dark chuckle escaping his lips. So you left to start a new life, huh? His voice was a low, frightening growl. You ran off with another man. He was a substitute for me, wasn't he? Where is he? Did you come back because he died and things got too hard? His words hurt me, but I refused to show it. Believe whatever you want, Kade. I'm a part of this pay and I'm here for my son's safety. There's nothing that concerns you here. He wasn't pleased. What are you talking about? You're my mate, and you come back parading around with— He pointed upstairs. With him. I couldn't hold it back anymore. Could he hear what he was saying? Did you forget? You rejected me. You said I wasn't enough. I wasn't strong or good enough. I begged you, Kade. I asked you to think about it. So don't stand here and act like I owe you anything. He took a step closer, his golden eyes tinged with pain. You don't understand. I wanted to protect you. You have no idea what I don't. I snapped. I don't care. I didn't know then, and I did not want to know now. You didn't want me, Kade, so I moved on. My son and I don't want anything with you, so you can leave. He fell silent, taken aback. Our eyes met and I refused to back down. He couldn't turn his back on me and then question me like we had any business together. He lost the right to do that 5 years ago when he rejected me. Mira, Before he could continue, Elma stepped between us. Enough, both of you, she said firmly. She turned to Kade. Mira and her son are under my protection now. If you have a problem with it, take it up with the council. Kade's jaw ticked, his chest heaving in anger, but he didn't say anything. He turned round and stalked out of the cabin, his boots stomping heavily on the floor. The door slammed shut behind him and I collapsed into the nearest chair, my legs trembling. Elma stared at me and sighed. You know he's not going to be fooled forever. He'll figure it out sooner or later. I knew that, but I also knew that if he found out about Rowan being his, There was a chance he'd take my son away from me, and there was no way I'd allow that. I stared at the door, my chest tight. I just need a little more time.